Hey there, wonderful writers and storytellers. Do you remember that trailer I shared with you a while ago about my upcoming book, Pariah Princess? Well, today I want to pull back the curtain just a little bit so that you can take a sneak peek into the journey behind that story. How did that first installment in the Gainans series even come to life? What spurred on that idea? You ready for that sneak peek? Let's go. I'm Tima, and this is Tima Hiba Writes, the channel where we explore the magic of storytelling together. So what even is this story? Pariah Princess is the opening book in the Gainans series. It follows a young princess, Nola, who is scorned by her people. Why do they scorn her? Because of her differing beliefs and her rebellion against their ancient traditions and the foundational philosophy of the kingdom, the Gainan way. Now, though her intentions are good and her heart is in the right place, her methods are so incredibly infuriating. This is a classic coming-of-age story where we will see her transform from a young, pampered, immature, hot-headed princess into someone who learns that teachability and humility are key values if you want to be a good leader. You are going to love Nola, even when you want to shake her. And you will want to shake her. I want to shake her. How old is the Gainans? Well, I don't exactly have the specific date, but I would say it is about, 10, 12 years old. I wrote the first draft within the first year, and then I let it sit. I think at that point I was just really excited to have finished a full-length novel. That was my second full-length novel that I had ever written, and I was super excited and I was content at that point to have just written it. So it sat and sat and sat. But then during the 2020 lockdown period, I remembered the book and I decided to just go over it and see if I could give it a facelift, I mean, it was lockdown. What else was I going to do in my time? So I worked through the book, read it, and ended up splitting the original manuscript into 2 books. And why I did this is because there were so many interesting concepts in the story that needed room to breathe. And if I fitted everything into one book, then it would either be a super long book or the concepts would not really be fully developed and it would leave the reader unsatisfied. Not to mention myself. So split it into 2 books. And during that time, I believe I finished the 2 books, like the book 1 and the book 2 for that time. I finished it and then again, I just let them sit. But years later, I finally got serious about publishing, and I took out book 1 and I really got deep into editing it and making sure that some loose ends were tied and making sure that the characters were tied and that the concepts made sense and that there was enough world building and backstory to be enjoyable to the reader. And I think if I were to count, I'd say that from the beginning of this Gainan's journey till now, I think that the story has gone through about 6 drafts. Yes, 6 drafts. And I do not regret it one bit. I think it was absolutely worth it. The story that you will read now is not the same story that it was years ago, and the novel is all the better for it. And thankfully, my writing has also improved over the years. It's definitely not what it used to be 12 years ago, I can tell you that for a fact. Why did I write the story? Listen, I was having a bad day. I needed to rant. Some people had pissed me off, they'd gotten under my skin, and I just needed to let out all my frustrations. So instead of going to the mountaintop to scream my head off, I went home and I sat down and I wrote. I didn't have a specific story in mind, I didn't have any of that, but I just randomly wrote. Whatever came to my mind, I just wrote. There once was this, there once was that, she was like this, she was like, I didn't even try to make it pretty. So After a few minutes of writing, I stopped and I looked back at I think it was 1 or 2 paragraphs that I had written, and I was like, okay, this isn't half bad. It's actually pretty good. I'm invested. I like this. And that's how Pariah Princess came about, and the Wild of the Gainans, which, by the way, originally was called Gaina Heights. Yeah, it wasn't the best name, but at least it evolved. Back to the story. There was a lot of me and my issues and my struggles in that original manuscript, which is understandable because I wrote it as a means of letting out steam and expressing my feelings. But thankfully, as the years passed and as it went through several rewrites and edits, I gradually disappeared from the story and the characters became their own selves. They gained their own struggles, their own nuances, their own personalities. The story got its own plot, it got its own themes, and it got its own story. And you know what? That's the best thing I could have ever done for this story. The moment I took myself out of the story was the moment the story truly became great. So maybe some of you are wondering, why did it take so long for me to publish this book? 12 years is a long time. Well, to be honest, fear. There was a lot of fear. I worried about what people would think about my work. I worried that they'd think it was awful. I worried that they'd tear it apart. I worried that it was not a good enough story. And you know, the story is my baby. So it's not that easy to put your work out there for potential criticism, for people to potentially tear it apart. So I kept it hidden for a long time. But a friend of mine told me very wisely that if I do not put my work out there, who is going to read it? Who? I'm a writer. Writers need readers. And I'm not going to get readers if I just write for myself and keep my work hidden in my laptop. So I just had to get up and do it. But that wasn't the only reason. I came to find out that there was always this feeling at the back of my mind. Feeling at the back of my mind? No. There was always this thought at the back of my mind that the story wasn't quite finished. Like, yes, it was finished in the sense that it had a beginning, a middle, and an end, but it wasn't finished because it had a few question marks, a few loopholes, and I wasn't satisfied with some of the characters. Like, for example, the main character, Nola, originally was so perfect. She already had the solutions to everything. She already knew what to do. She was already very confident in herself and in her abilities. She knew her limits. It was everyone else who had a problem with her, but she didn't exactly have a problem with anyone else. There was nothing she was growing in. All of the conflicts that she went through in her story was externally driven. There was no internal conflict for her. That didn't really sit right with me, in as much as, I mean, it's okay and normal for external conflicts to drive a story sometimes. For this character, I felt like she would be a lot more compelling and interesting if the conflict also came from inside, if she had to overcome something internally in order for her to get to be that great leader. I wanted to see how she got from point A to point B. How did she get to be that revolutionary person in that original manuscript? So that was one of the things that just wasn't sitting right with me. So finally, I worked through it and gave her a few flaws, gave her a few hurdles to leap over, gave her a learning curve, and it really works. So at the end of the day, what I initially thought was analysis paralysis was in fact my intuition telling me that there was still yet work to be done. And thanks to the many drafts, the many rewrites, and also the valuable feedback from my beta readers, who are super awesome, by the way, I was able to finally get the story to a place where I was like, you know what, yes, I have told everything I need to tell in this story, and now I can release it to the world. And you know what? That brings me to something that I learned through this whole journey. The first thing I learned is, Do not be in a rush to publish your book that you submit your first draft. There is always room for improvement. The second thing I learned is that some stories just take longer to develop than others, and that's perfectly okay. So what finally gave me the push to publish? Well, a friend of mine told me something that just clicked. She said, if for nothing else, just do this for your kids. Do this for them. Share yourself with them. Let them know you through your writing. You know, it's interesting how perspectives change when kids come into the picture. Now here is something absolutely wonderful for you to look forward to. When I finally publish Pariah Princess, and I am still aiming for late August or mid-September, you will find at the end of the book a special concept section. And in this section, I will dig deeper into some world building details, into the characters, into some backstories, and I'll also share some images with you so you can visualize some of the things that you will read in the book. It's gonna be awesome and epic. You do not want to miss that. If you love peeking behind the curtain and getting to see the very bones of a story, then this is definitely something that you will not want to miss. But you don't have to wait until late August or mid-September to get a taste of the book. If you check out the description box below, you will find links to my book pages where you'll be able to download free teaser for the book. It will give you just a taste of that story, and it is a perfect way to start immersing yourself in that world. And since we're talking about links, let me highlight one more. If you want to be the first to know about my book releases, new writing course announcements, and all that exciting stuff, or if you simply want a warm community where we can grow in our journey of writing together, then follow the link in my description box to my exclusive Facebook group, the Tima Hiba Story World. Here, you will get exclusive info, extra tips, and so much more. So thank you so much for watching this video and for taking this journey with me behind Pariah Princess. I truly hope you follow those links and grab your free teaser and join our Facebook community. As always, it has been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, keep writing, keep painting your worlds. Goodbye.